All right. Come on in. Come on in. How's everybody doing? Good to see y'all. Hey. We are live and in living color. Welcome. Where you're from, your city, your state. Let me know where you're at, where you're watching from. I got people from all over to let me know where you are. Getting comfortable, y'all. Excuse me. So glad to have you. Everybody who's tuning in for the very first time. This is going to be an amazing talk. I'm just letting you know right now, it's going to be an amazing talk. I am setting this up to change your life. I promise you, I'm not holding anything back. Whatever you get from this, I promise you, it was intentional. All right. It was intentional. It was intentional that you got the good information. I put some time and effort. Let me just tell you about what I'm doing today and why. Okay. So today, we're talking about the biggest mistakes that you're making while preparing for a man. Now, this is across the board. I don't care if you're a man looking for a man or if you're a woman looking for a man. This will apply to you regardless. Welcome in. Let me do a little bit of background, then we'll do some housekeeping, okay? First up. I want to start with one of my clients. He allowed me to say this today. Garrett, he's a straight guy who was looking to reconnect with his ex. And it was the love of his life, And after just one session of implementing some of the techniques that I gave him, not only did he win her back by the next session, but they're already talking about ring sizes. The woman was so impressed by the changes that he made in his life that she was supposed to meet him for lunch and she couldn't even wait to get off of work and meet him. All right. So that's the type of stuff that we're doing. Today, we're talking about the mistakes that you make while you're preparing for a man. Set up level. See, some of y'all jump right in and you don't think about preparation is key. Even in relationships, preparation is key. Even in dating, preparation is key. You have got to be ready. Thank y'all for the love, by the way. Welcome in everybody coming in. You have got to be ready when the relationship comes. And so the work that we're doing today is absolutely necessary and essential to make sure that you get the man and that you're able to keep them. So for everybody watching today, I want you to take a minute. I want you to share this video. I want you to tag a friend. I want you to invite somebody. I want you to invite a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, somebody who keeps complaining that the relationships are not working. I'll give you a second. Go ahead. All right. Look, why? Because this is important. You want to share this with someone who is struggling with love. We're going in today, so you better get ready. I'm not holding anything back. And if you know me, then you know that I'm not giving you some stuff that I found off the internet. You know that my points are going to be something you have not heard before. You know that they are going to apply right to your situation and right to where you are. I am excited to share this with you. So get ready all the way, my people from Hawaii. I see you. Where's everybody else at? I see Chicago's in the house. I see LA is in the house. Keep on coming in. Tell me where you're at. Tell me where you're from. I'm excited about, y'all can tell I'm excited about this. Y'all can tell when I get excited. My people who are with me all the time know when I'm really excited about a topic. So come on in. We're still coming in. We're about to get started. A little housekeeping. Number one about me, if you've never met me before, if you never heard me speak before, this is your very first time. I am not a business coach. I am a love coach. And the same type of work that some of y'all get off of these business coaching sessions, this is the work you need in your love life. If you are single and depressed and anxious, I help people find love, not just with others, but within themselves. Part of the work that I do is helping celebrities, helping other coaches to coach, being able to be a resource. As a former pastor, I'm able to really help counsel other coaches. So I'm able to be a mentor to people who are leading the way in different fields. And that's the work I do. Okay. So a lot of self-love, a lot of relationships. I deal with everything, the 6 phases of love, from singleness all the way to marriage and divorce. If you like something, if you hear something you like, let somebody know that you liked it by just typing a heart sign in there. Just let them know that you felt it so that we can keep the energy high in this conversation. Also, don't forget to drop your questions in at the end. I will be taking live questions. So I want to make sure I get your questions. Lastly, let me celebrate some of my former winners, Heather, Todd, and Cecilia, who all won our last giveaway. At the end of this, if you're participating, then I have a giveaway for you at the end of this. I got Monroe, my brother Monroe's on, Teddy's on, Frank's on, I got Lotus on, I got Patrick, I got Dr. Ron. We about to get started, all right? So I'm excited about today. Number one, the 6 biggest mistakes that you're making while preparing for your man. And you know how I like to do it to help the next person coming in who may miss this. Go ahead and drop whatever my point is, the title of my point. So I'll give you an example for the first one. Drop it so somebody can get it, all right? That's how you get entered in to win, by participating. Number one, you're asking for a man before asking for a vision. I just need to pause on that, because even having prepared that just blessed my soul. You are asking for a man before asking for a vision. Now, I'm about to get a little pastoral real quick, but I got to say this to some of you who are asking and looking and praying up to God for a man. You have got to know your own personal vision for your life before you are able to find the right person to align with it. Oh, I'm stepping on some toes right here. I know that. Thank you, Biz Mixer, for typing that in. Look, you have got to ask God to give you your personal vision before you ask for your personal man. Yes. How is someone going to align with your life if you don't know what the vision is for your life? How is someone going to align with your destiny if you don't know your purpose? So anyone who knows me knows that alignment is my key word. It is my key word. Alignment for this year is absolutely essential for you to have happiness, for you to have peace, for you to have fulfillment, for you to feel fulfilled in your life. You absolutely need alignment. So in order to have alignment in your life, you have got to have a vision for your life. Let me tell you what a vision is not. A vision is not a warm bed. A vision is not a warm bed. A vision is not a hand to hold. A vision is not a sex partner. A vision is not a warm bed. A vision is not a hand to hold. A vision is not a sex partner. Vision is, what do I want to achieve with my life? Vision is, who am I called to be around? Vision is, where should I be going? Vision is, what is my personal mission? So what the first biggest mistake you're doing, thank you for writing that, Mocha, is you're asking for the man before asking for the vision. Whew. I told you my points are not normal. This is not something you get off of medium.com. Number two, and I'm moving on because I want to be able to take your questions at the end. All right. So this is a quick fast track on this, but I want to make sure you get all of these points. I got 6 of them today. So 1 out of 6 was, you're asking for a man before you ask for a vision. Number two out of 6. You have not defined what is enough. All right, I got to say that again. You have not defined what is enough. No one, hear me when I say this. I had to say this to a client just today. No one can be enough for you until you allow them to be enough for you. Let me say that again. No one can be enough for you until you allow them to be enough for you. Enough is never enough when you have not defined what enough is. Think about it in financial terms. What is enough money for you? Have you defined that? If you don't, then you'll be on the endless pursuit of more and more and more love. And so when you're talking about love, if you have not defined what enough faithfulness is, if you have not defined what enough consistency is, if you have not defined what enough conversation is, if you have not defined how much money is enough money for them to have, how much patience is enough patience for them to have, how much peace is enough peace for them, how sexy is sexy enough? Have you really, see, your prayers have been limited because you've been saying, Lord, help me to find someone faithful. But faithful in what areas? Because you know in your own life that you're faithful to some things 100 and you slack. Like you're not faithful to the gym, you're not faithful to your diet. So when you're praying a general, oh, I want faithfulness, are you praying for someone who is faithful to me in this particular way? That comes by knowing what is enough. So in our work here, we have to now ask ourselves, what is enough? What is enough? What is enough for me? Ooh. Let me go a little deeper. You can search in the federal offices of DC. You could search in the farmlands of Iowa. You could search the beaches of Miami and the nightclubs of Atlanta and never find someone who is enough if you don't have a clear definition of what enough is. You cannot blame your city, the city you live in, if enough has not been defined in your life. You cannot blame your economic status if you have not defined what enough is in your life. Enough has to be defined first before you can go looking for what you want to add to your life. Does that make sense? Woo. All right. I know I'm going in. Drop your hearts if you're feeling it. Hey, I thank you, Biz Mixer, for typing this in. Hey, look. Number three, we're going to keep moving because I got 6 of these I got to give you before we take questions, and we're at 9:15. So I'm very cognizant of your time. You know, I like to respect your time. So I want to make sure we get through this. For those of you who are walking in for the first time, for those of you who don't know me, I am a love and success coach, a former pastor. I have degrees for this, but at the end of the day, my work is done through helping clients on a consistent basis to turn their love lives around. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is where I get results. This is why I do the work that I do. This is why I left the pulpit to do this work. So if you're coming in and you hear a little preacher in me, that's why it's there. But we're on point number 3, going in right now to point number 3 of why the biggest mistakes that you're making when you're going after a man. The third mistake, your friendships aren't firm enough. Oh, I just stepped on some more toes. Your friendships. I'm going into your friendships now. Yes, those people that are close to you. Your friendships are not firm enough. Byron, what do you mean by that? What do you mean that my friendships are not firm enough? To everybody on YouTube, to everybody on Instagram, to everybody on Facebook. What I mean by that, when I say that your friendships are not firm enough, I mean that your friends are a necessary support system for you. Even if you aren't venting to them about your relationship, which I don't recommend, just being around them, when you need a break from your partner can offer you clarity and appreciation to go back home. This is why you need firm friendships. Firm. They help you to maintain your individuality in the relationship so you keep building a life for you and not just your partner. Let me say that again. So you can keep your individuality. When you don't have firm friendships, you end up making your partner your God. Yes, and I use that word very strategically. You end up making your partner your God. In fact, you say, I want more of you. I want more time. I want more energy. I want more attention. Let me be honest. If you got all the attention that you asked for, you would be pushing them back away because nobody wants all the attention and time of somebody. Nobody does. But it's hard not to seek more when you don't have a buffer for that. To maintain your individuality, what happens is a lot of people go into relationships and they end up losing themselves. They end up trying so hard to please this person that they end up losing who they are. So I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to be there, okay? So stay with me, because right here is where you get lost. You end up cutting your friends off. You end up telling your friends, I'm having Baytime. Baytime can't be every day. Okay. You have got to maintain your individuality. You have got to keep your unique identity, because the person who got with you got with you. The person who got with you, hear me when I say that. I don't want you to hear it in the simple terms. I'm saying it in a bigger way. The person who got with you got with you, the you that you are, the you that you introduced yourself as. That's what they were attracted to. They were attracted to you, not the version of you that is super attached to them. They were attached to the version of you that was living your life, that was happy, that was joyful, that was enjoying life. Come on, stay with me. Right here is where you find one of your biggest mistakes is you end up cutting off friends who should be a part of your life to help you maintain the individuality of your life. Firm friendships look like this. Firm friendships are supportive ones that celebrate your relationship and don't make you feel bad for it, right? Firm friendships are the ones where you can share your heart and not feel judged. Firm friendships are the ones that you can call you out when you get a little too friendly with someone who may interfere with your relationship because you told them that was your goal. And so they're helping you maintain your goal. Come on, I'm talking heavy. Firm friendships are the ones where goals and visions are mentioned and updated as necessary. That's a firm friendship. Now, I'm not talking about the people that you party with, that you hang out with, that you go drink with, that you go smoke with. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about people you travel with. I'm talking about the people that I just mentioned, that you can share dreams and vision, that will check you. That's a firm friend. I know it sounds weird. Byron, you're talking about friendships. You're talking about friendships when I'm trying to find a man, because the friendship is a part of your life that you're missing when you're missing the thought of it when you are engaging in dating someone. So that's point 3. Your friendships aren't firm enough. Let's go to point 4. Point 4. I like this. You're not having fun already. Number 4, you're not having fun already. Now, this is going to be good right here. You're not having fun already. For all of my people who are out there and think you got to be a nun in order to find someone, I'm going to tell you this. No one wants to be with someone boring. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again on this one. No one wants to be with someone boring. In fact, you don't even enjoy your life when it's boring. Set activities that keep your life interesting, exciting, fresh. You always working is not enticing anyone unless they are trying to get your money or trying to jump on for the clout. But you being happy with your own life allows someone to take part in the joy that you feel about yourself. So you're wondering why your relationship is failing, because you get in, you get so attached, and you get boring. I could say that so many ways. Fun looks like going on a trip. Fun looks like trying new restaurants. Even if you don't want to go alone, it means maybe going to a restaurant week or a festival or a fair. Spend some much needed friend time. Even do things that you would do with someone by yourself, because you're practicing what I'm teaching you now. What I taught my client Garrett is to practice the habits of being in a relationship before you're in a relationship, right? Start doing the things that you would want to be doing in a relationship before you get in the relationship. And then you're able, when you're in the relationship, to move smoother in the relationship, because it's not fresh or new. Now it's been practiced on your own terms. So number 4 was you're not having fun already. If we go back through these, for those who are just coming in, we're talking about the 6 biggest mistakes you're making while preparing for a man. Number 1 was you're asking for a man before you're asking for a vision. Number 2 was you have not defined what is enough in your life. Number three, you have friendships that aren't firm. And number 4, you're not having fun already. Is anybody feeling this today? Is it touching you right where you need it? Because I'm feeling good about sharing it. This feels good. Last two, and then we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to take some questions, so I hope you're dropping your questions in the Q&A area below. If you're on Facebook and Instagram, go ahead and drop yours in there. Number 5, you focus too much on what is missing. I got to sip on that. You focus too much on what is missing. All right, Byron, what do you mean? What do you say? We know you're single and ready to mingle, right? We know that you are ready for love. At least you feel that way. But focusing on what is already absent is only attracting more of what you already have. Let me say that again. By focusing on what is absent, you are attracting more of what you already have. So if you are focused heavily on singleness, if all of your energy is focusing, oh, woe is me, I'm single, you're attracting more of that single energy, because your energy is at the same time repelling a relationship. So in preparation for a man, and I know many of you call it this, the law of attraction, right? I call it the law of love, because whatever you focus on the most is a signal of love attached to it. I'm going to step on your toes again. I said, whatever you focus on the most is a sign of what you love and what love is attached to it. Some of you talk about your misery because you actually love talking about your misery. Some of you talking about people being so terrible because you actually prefer talking about people being terrible instead of people succeeding in love. Some of you would rather be right than to find love. Let me say that. Some of you, I'm about to get prophetic here for just a second. Some of you would rather be right, that all men are dogs, that none can get in a healthy relationship. Some of you would rather be right than to find real love. And so by focusing on the thing that is missing, you end up attracting more of the energy of what is missing. Okay, so let's look at it this way. If you always complain about traffic, you say there's traffic everywhere, there's always traffic, then any red light will feel like traffic. And it will feel like you're attracting more red lights because in your mind, you're focused on every red light that you encounter. When you are focused on the absence of love, you end up focusing more on the absence of love, and you end up creating momentum behind the absence instead of slowing the absence and creating momentum behind the success of love. Yeah, you're focusing too much on what is missing. So sometimes you have to do this. Uh, you have to practice speaking what is lovely in your life. Because look, love is love, right? We use that as a hashtag. Love is love. So if love is love, then if I'm in a mode of talking about love more consistently, if I'm saying more often, not what I hate that I don't have, but if I'm talking more consistently about that which I have that I love, then I'm still creating the momentum around attracting good love. So if I'm saying, man, I don't have the best car, but I love the car I have. I don't have all of my friends aren't millionaires, but they're consistent, they're faithful. I love them. I don't have the love in my life, but I have love all around me. If your energy is more focused on staying positive and staying upbeat, then now your energy becomes just like my client Garrett, when we talked just yesterday. He said, Byron, because I changed my attitude about missing my ex, instead of started appreciating love more in my life, the love all around me. He said, now I see love in nature. Now I see love in everything that I own, the things I was able to purchase, the people who come in my life. Now I attract the love in my love life that I wanted. I'm just talking. I'm just talking here. So step 5 is you focus too much on what is missing. So let me give you this last one. This last one. Before I do that, I want to remind you that I still have the Black Friday Cyber Monday deal up for everybody who wants it. If you go to byronjamal.com, Black Friday / Black Friday, you can get all of my ebooks for 50% off. So that's something I'm still opening up because some people were like, hey, I missed it. My apologies. So I'm leaving it up for tonight only. All right. And also, I have my new self-love course that's about to come out. It's about to drop. You want to be on my mailing list, so go to byronjamal.com and jump on my mailing list. For those of you who are love heroes, you know I send you good stuff all the time to make sure that you're empowered and that you have what you need. Also, you can take my free self-love quiz at byronjamal.com, and it will pop up for the free self-love quiz. So take that and see what your personal self-love language is, okay? All right, last one here. Number 6. Y'all ready for this? I know I've been dropping some that you haven't heard before, so I want to make sure I do it one more time. I'll do it one more time. Last one tonight. You don't date enough. You don't date enough. I'm gonna go shout on that one right there. After everything I've said, I just said you don't date enough. And I mean it. And I mean it. You don't get out there. You don't date enough. Yes. So it truly is that practice makes perfect. And when you are preparing for an interview, you probably practice. You either with yourself or a good friend. Dating casually can help you the same way. Learn what settings you like, what you enjoy about somebody. It helps you understand what you will avoid and what you should gravitate toward. By being able to date frequently, I'm talking about dating frequently. If you do it, you actually set yourself up for greater success. Here's why you don't do it. And I'm going to tell you very clearly, because it's become taboo. because you grew up in a church. You grew up in a church that said, you date that one boy over there, y'all get close, y'all get engaged, and y'all get married. You've heard these fairy tales about people who get married at 18 and 19 and they childhood sweethearts. And you're like, well, I'm only supposed to date a certain amount of people. In fact, I have clients that wear it as a badge of honor that they've only dated two people. I've only dated two people. I've only dated two people. Oh my God, I'm so honorable. I'm so noble. I've only dated two people. And I'm thinking, you fool. Yes, you fool. You've only dated two people. No wonder you're sitting on my sofa, because you don't know what you want. Two people is not going to help you realize what you want. Do you go to 2 days of training for a big job? If you do, that's not a big job. It's not a big job. You are sitting here telling me that you dated two people and you're proud about it. And I'm telling you, you have been misinformed. You have been lied to. You have been led astray. You have been run amok. Okay, you have missed the mark. If you have dated a handful of people, then you are missing the mark. You are missing it. You are missing out on what you really want. Period. Point blank. Period. You can't look. I can tell you this from personal experience. We went furniture shopping over the last few days. Just to find a living room set, we sat in over a dozen chairs because we wanted to feel the texture. It wasn't just, we wanted to see what color scheme. We wanted to know what it felt like. We wanted to know how plush it was. I'm not saying sit in laps, but I'm definitely saying that you got to test drive some things in order to really know what you can appreciate. Many of you are stuck in something that you got stuck in because you didn't try enough. Oh, I felt that one real good. I said, some of you are stuck right now talking to somebody who's in your phone. They probably message you right now while you're watching this. And you have attracted them because you have not investigated. Can I use that word? Somebody type that in. Investigated enough about your desires. Some of y'all are not called to people who are boring. Some of y'all are not called to people who work 9 to 5s. Some of y'all are not called to people who are extremely creative. Some of y'all are not called to people who work late night hours. And the only way you know it is to date people who go through those different scenarios. You got to try some different sofas out. You got to go to some different car lots and see which ones you like. You don't go to the first car you see and said, I like this car. Does it run? Kick the tires? Hello? No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Okay? So don't do that in love. Shake off this Cinderella syndrome. All right? Shake off this Cinderella syndrome that says there's one man with one slipper and it. Shake it off. Shake it off right now. I just want you to shake that off, because that's not doing you any good. It hasn't done you any good. In fact, it's failed so many times. I don't know why you still have it in your head. It doesn't even make sense anymore. It doesn't even make logical sense to think that way. So stop thinking like Cinderella and start thinking like a person at the ball who simply is at the ball and wants to mix and mingle with as many people there to see if somebody there is a good match, right? That's how you find what you really need out of scenarios and situations when it comes to your love life. Hopefully somebody has gotten something good from these 6. Let's run through them again. Let's take some questions. Go ahead and put your questions in for those of you who are waiting to do that. Number one was you're asking for a man before you're asking for a vision. Ooh, that's probably my favorite. Number 2, you have not defined what is enough for you. That's really good. Your friendship, number 3, your friendships aren't firm enough. Number 4, you're not having fun already in your life. And nobody wants anybody boring. Nobody, baby. Nobody, baby. Number 5, you focus too much on what is missing in your life instead of focusing on the love that you do have in your life. Number 6, you don't date enough. All right, so those are 6. First question on the floor by my girl Doc. How long should you try out these said sofas? Good use of my my metaphor here. So when I'm saying date more, how long should you try them out? So the point of dating is like the point of making of car shopping or going for sofa shopping. Each person gives you a clearer picture of things that you like and things that you don't. Now, there are going to be clear deal breakers. There are going to be clear things that you simply don't like, that you're learning, that you may already know. But it's the smaller things that you're learning, right? So you got to give someone at least, I wouldn't say time, you got to give them energy. So the question really is, how much energy do I give them? And you give them enough to engage in a way that you can get to know them beyond the surface, but not so long that you become ingrained emotionally or attached emotionally. All right? It's delicate balance, but that's the healthiest way to do it. You're simply interviewing. All right. And you can have a third interview and a fourth interview and a follow-up to the follow-up and invite them out and have a group interview if you know what I mean by that. Bring them out with some people that you know. Do whatever it takes, but that doesn't mean you sign the deal. It doesn't mean that you've given them a contract. It doesn't mean that they are officially in your life. It just means that I am kicking the wheels out. Even car lots let you take the car out and try it on the road, right? And you can try several different cars on the road. Look, many people don't do that. They try the one that they really like and they drive and they come back and that's it. But if you really wanted to, you could be at a dealership all day trying every single car in the lot. They'll allow it. So to answer your question, I would say until you have a list, and I mean a list clear enough, whether written down and I suggest writing it down, that is very clear on the things that you absolutely need, being as specific as possible. Part of what I do in my dating course is help people identify what they need, and that's why it's been so successful, is the people who come out of that course, they're able to identify, even through online dating, who's a good match and who's not. Be able to swipe left and swipe right more frequently to the right degree. And that's what you want to do. So thank you for your question. Anyone else? Any questions? Let's see. We got one in here. Let me go ahead and get it. Let me put it up for a catch. How do you determine what is enough for you through dating? Ooh. So that's back up to the point about enough is never enough. So it goes back to point 1, first of all. Let's start at point 1. Point 1, emphasize knowing your vision. You can't identify anything until you know your personal vision. You can't operate on your grandma's vision for your love life. You can't operate on your daddy's vision for your love life. You can't even operate on your pastor's vision for your love life, okay? Some of y'all messed up right now because you try to operate like first lady and pastor, and y'all aren't even, anyway. So knowing your personal vision helps you then to set parameters. Let me give you an understanding of what I mean. If your personal vision is that you want to fly planes, then you would probably go to flight school and not train conductor school, right? Like you wouldn't even go to that place. So if you know you want a certain type of man, let's say you don't want a man that parties, then it makes sense that you go to the club. That makes sense. Perfect sense. But if you say you want a businessman, I'm not saying that at the club, but it's more likely that you meet them at a business networking event, right? Knowing what is enough comes directly from your personal vision. And that's just one example. So how many people should I date? I don't know. How many people are at the networking event? Do you feel like you want better odds? Because you can go You can go to the small one that has 5 people, and normally people will choose from the options that are available to them. Hear me. I'm going to say that again because I just said something very profound I want you to hear. Normally people choose from the options that are available to them. So when you limit your options, you limit your choices. And you normally choose from your choices. So you are choosing from a limited bucket. Would you rather choose from an ocean or would you rather choose from a pond? Now, some people prefer the pond because it's harder, because they don't know themselves. They don't know what kind of fish they want. So the ocean is intimidating when you don't know the fish you're after, right? The ocean is intimidating only if you don't see. When you know the right fish you have, I'm using a lot of analogies, but stay with me. If you know the right fish that you're after, then you also know the right bait to use. You know the right part of the ocean to go. Are they shallow fish? Are they deep water fish? Are they saltwater fish? See, when you start knowing your vision of what you want and who you are, then you start going after what it is that you want and who they are. It's easier to answer what they look like when you know what you want your life to look like. Oh, I just said that. It is easier to know what they look like when you know what your life should look like. There are some people that are disqualified from ever being in my life simply based on where they are, decisions they make. Simply put, places I'm going, I cannot have you associate or attach. And that's not bad. It just means saltwater fish and freshwater fish will never intermingle. They just won't. It's not a bad thing. They still have their communities, they still have their people, but knowing where they belong helps them survive. And the reason why your relationships don't survive is because you don't know where you belong. You don't know what type of fish you are, and you don't know what type of fish you need with you. You keep bringing these saltwater fish, these salty fish, into your fresh waters. Yeah. So, short answer to sum your question up, Catch. Thank you so much for asking that question, by the way. How do you determine what is enough for you through dating? It is first by knowing your own purpose, knowing your own vision, and being able to make decisions of what is enough and defining what is enough from that place. Hope that helped. Anyone else? Any questions? I want to make sure I get them all before I tune out here. We got 15 more minutes. In the last few moments, I just want to, let's see, I got my girl over here on Facebook. So this is good. How much experience do you have helping with transgender people, women and men finding love? I actually have 2 transgender clients right now. The bulk of my clients are cut between LGBTQ and the heterosexual community. So it's kind of 50-50, but I do have 2 transgender clients right now who are becoming very successful in their love walk. To that experience, let me just say that to those of you who are watching, and for those of you who do not know, I do identify as bisexual. I help both men and women find love, those on the LGBTQ spectrum and those who are not. Those who are seeking the love of men is most of my work. However, as I mentioned, Garrett is a straight man who is looking for love from his ex, who's a female. So I help love, because love at the root of it is love. Okay, love at the root of it is love. And if you're working with me, if you're in this family that I'm cultivating here, this community of love heroes, then you understand in a broader way beyond what your religion taught you that love really is love. That love at its fundamental level, as the Bible says, is God. And so that is why it's so important to trust the spirit when you are dealing with love stuff, and stop listening to people's opinions and people who are just saying stuff because of their history or their upbringing. You want people who are connected to spiritual truths, not just ideologies or customs or cultural norms, because that stuff will mess you up. That stuff will mess you up. I'm glad it helped you some more, and I love you so much. And thank you for being on as a strong woman, a transgender woman. I appreciate you for the love that you're sharing even with me tonight. My goal is very clear, to help everyone find love. My goal is very clear, to be able to create a community, especially the Black community, of people who are loved and are loving. People who are loved and are loving, who don't carry hate or malice or pain in their hearts. And so the freedom that I want you to have is very clear. Aubrey says over on YouTube, what steps should I take to determine what my vision of my life is? That's a good question. What steps should you take to really determine what the vision of your life is? So, going back to step one and talking about the vision of your life, kind of breaking that down really quick in the last few moments here, I'll give you a summarized version that I would normally share in a client session. First, being able to understand that all of life is discovery, navigation, and achievement. DNA, discovery, navigation, and achievement. And when you understand that, you understand that everything you first encounter is a discovery moment. Every person, every item, every new drink, every new food that you eat, everything is a discovery moment. Once you learn what its purpose is in your life, that's achievement. So when you get a new phone, new iPhone or a new Android, it's discovery. Playing with it is navigation. And really achieving the purpose of what it's going to be used for in your life and learning the functions and systems is achievement, right? And so you're going through that process of DNA, discovery, navigation, and achievement. Well, in order to get to achievement, you first have to accept discovery will happen. For many people, they step into life and they're told that they should know from high school, that you should know your degree, program that you want to be in. They tell 18-year-olds that they should know what they want to be when they're 90. Like it's insane. It doesn't happen like that for most people. Most people don't know what they want to do or who they want to be or what they're going to be until later in life. It's pretty normal, actually. And so being able to identify that discovery is something you'll go through, being able to be okay with not knowing, not forcing yourself to settle on something because that's what someone told you should do. I was almost going to be I was a pastor, not because I wasn't called to be a pastor. The time that I was called to be a pastor was definitely timely, but I definitely had people pushing me to be a pastor. And because I was a pre-med major, people were pushing me to be a doctor too. So, you get pushed a lot in life and people push you. Don't let people push you out of the process of becoming. Don't let people push you out of the process of discovering. To answer your question more closely in the next step of how do you determine what the vision of your life is, once you accept that you don't know, then you can start seeing the signs that are all around you. What do you like? What do you gravitate towards? What gives you peace? What gives you joy? What things make you feel good, even when they're so simple? Those kind of things normally answer that question of what is my purpose? Are you the type that just likes to sit and talk to people? Maybe you're a counselor. Maybe you're a therapist. Maybe you need to be a 911 operator. There's so many occupations, but being able to identify what brings you peace and what brings you joy and love, ultimately, when money isn't attached, when fame isn't attached, what just makes you feel good, gets you at least in that first and second step of really determining what the vision of your life is. So that's what I would give in a short answer. Definitely more I could say about that, Aubrey, but thank you for asking that question. I hope that gives you at least 2 good steps to get going on. For Bezerek Jerk, thank you so much for being on. How do you find love when you aren't the most social person as far as not going to clubs, bars, and parties? You got a few resources, right? But I won't let you make any excuses for that. I know a lot of introverted people who find jobs. Let me just say that again. I know a lot of introverted people who find jobs and they're willing to go on job interviews. They go into corporations, they sit in group interviews, they do all the stuff they got to do to get the job. So whatever it takes to get the Bay. I'm not saying you got to go to clubs, bars, and parties. There are definitely networking events. There are professional events. I'm not saying go and crash somebody's wedding, but there are definitely people who are more open at wedding receptions. You know, going to places that, you know, museums, going to festivals, going to things that are interactive and that people are at, even going to concerts, being able to go to things that people are at and connecting with human beings. It doesn't mean that clubs, bars, and parties, even though in most of our society that's automatically what we think of, there are many other places to go. But I don't allow my clients to accept their being introverted as a capable excuse when they have jobs that they had to go in and interview with strangers. All right. So know that if you were in a client session with me, we would break right through that real quick. I am Thomathan says, I struggle with abandonment from childhood, and oftentimes I feel that I start loving too soon. Jonathan, I want you to go back and watch my last one I did last Tuesday about the four styles of relationship styles that will cause you ruin in your relationship. I talked about abandonment styles, and I really want you to see the ones there. If you watch that back, I feel like you'll get a lot out of that. But I definitely understand that abandonment is one of those things that causes people to have issues with relationships and connecting with people in their present. Freedom from your past is something that is absolutely possible and is right for you to obtain, but you have to get the right kind of help in order to move past those. So start with that video, and then if you need more help, I'm here for you. My self-love book will probably help a lot on that too, being able to heal from self-love. And you go to my website, click on the Let's Talk button, and that will link you right to a free 15-minute consultation where we'll talk about how I work, what the rates are, what else I can offer if something doesn't work for you. That is available. All right. So, but you can also go to my site and at byronjamal.com, and all of my information is there. You can go to the services tab and see how I operate. For those of you who are also on Power of One Life Coach says, when I work with clients, I also tell them to prioritize the items that they must that their must-have list. Yes. Example: if you have honesty as number one on it, then you must have a list, and it's number 10 on your mate's must-have list. You have to discuss that. Absolutely. I love that. Let me just tell you so much. That is so true. Knowing what is priority in your life is going to help you. I've gotten to this place where I don't use the word balance anymore. You don't want to balance your life. You want to prioritize it, because balance is always going to change. Like everything is, when something new job will put more of an obligation on you because it's new. So you have to rebalance, if you will, all the time. So putting priorities means more. Like if God is first, family second, partners third, job is last, and you know what is prioritized in your life versus saying I'm balancing this. I'm giving this 30% and 40%. No, the percentages don't work. The priorities do. So that's awesome. Thank you for that, for sharing that. One Love Coach, I appreciate you saying that so much. And thank you to everybody who's been a part. As I said, and thank you for all the questions who have been on. Thank you to Samoria for sharing. Thank you for everybody who's been a part of this urban life. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who participated throughout. And those of you who posted today, I want to give out 2 giveaways today. And one of them is going to be, I'm going back in our history thread. So give me a second. Don't beat me up for taking a minute. I'm going back for those who participated and said something like I said. See, just followed instructions. That's all it was. The Biz Mixer, who I will be on with tomorrow, and Mocha Days. I want you to inbox me ASAP with your email address, and I will actually just inbox me your email address, and I will send you a free code to get a free book out of my arsenal of books. Also, for those of you, next time the giveaway is going to be, because my course will be up, my self-love course will be up. So for those of you who are, you got the book, Olga, awesome. For those of you who are coming on the self-love course, I can't wait to drop that. Oh my God. just doing the work of it and putting it together has been changing my life. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with those of you who are going through different issues that are causing you issues in your relationship, normally rooted from self-love. So I'll be doing a giveaway on that next week. So tune in again. If you got something from this, share this back. It will be on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. These Love Talk Lives I'm doing for a little bit longer until I start doing more of my webinars and start having this kind of more as a membership only situation. But I love y'all so much. I thank you so much for being on. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for sharing your heart, sharing your stories, and asking questions, not being afraid to ask questions. And remember this as we end this out, that you are worth the love you seek. So seek higher love. Don't forget to go to byronjamal.com. Join the mailing list for all you love heroes out there. I love you. Have a beautiful night. And remember, I'm with you. I'm with you on your love journey, and you deserve it. You deserve to have the love you seek. You really do. Be blessed and stay the path. Peace.